and we are on the air. Dang, Brandon, right at the bar line. I was getting ready to push the button. You come jumping in. Greetings and salutations, everyone. How y'all doing?
Wonderful as always, brother.
What's going on? So
Doing all right.
we got the usual suspects, but we got another member today, reporting live from the moon. He's beaming his radio signals down to Earth. Dave, what's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. If I'm beaming from the moon, you got to take into account the 3-second latency round trip time.
That is true.
It's 1.5. Light takes 1.5 seconds to get to the moon, and then 1.5 seconds to get back. So you got to take in that 3-second latency.
That is very true. Now the reason why is because our good friend Dave, and I feel like he's protesting the internet from time to time. That's how I look at it. I feel like he's protesting.
Oh,
the
it's
internet.
worse.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Bro, it's like it's like worse than living in a third world country.
No, hey.
Wow.
Good God.
Hey, you better leave them poor people alone. They don't have electricity or
Bro,
phone
that's
service
how you
or
live.
nothing.
Like,
Yo, I bet they got Google accounts though.
How you gonna have a Google account without an internet connection?
Oh no.
Believe me, they got internet. Believe me.
So
bro,
our
even
good
poor
friend
people
Dave
have Google accounts on the streets.
So look. So our good friend Dave is a testament of willpower, because he's living life without the G, and I'm very impressed that he finds ways to come up with different things. So I like his viewpoints on stuff. We can have a great debate about how to end up getting things done, because he was talking to me about branching out to other media, different media types that I wouldn't even know anything about. But you might have saw Dave on Sneed Mobile Tech. So somehow, some way, he found a way over there. It must have been by satellite.
Or HughesNet.
Yeah, it was ham radio.
Now, unlike Yukion, he doesn't use Google to host his podcast with. He uses StreamYard.
Now, here's the thing: I use StreamYard. But the problem with but the problem is for me, StreamYard requires too much for you to add more people in, where Google Meet does it naturally. Like, even if I didn't pay for the service, I can have up to 30 people in here at one time. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Where with StreamYard, if I wanted to do everything through StreamYard, it would automatically end up being like, yo, if you want more than 6, you're gonna have to cough up the dough. You see?
Right.
So for me, it was like a logistic problem. It was like, yo, I'm not even close to being able to make money yet, and before I can even start branching out or even experimenting, I got to start coughing on money. Nah, I'm good.
Well, that's why Sneed never has any more than 6. Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
he generally has like Pete and me sometimes, and Dennis and a couple others, Moose, but he doesn't really have more than 6 on at a time.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. That's the limitations of, if you want to do it for free, then yeah, you got to work within those limitations. But come on, man, I have aspirations of growing bigger, and I gotta come up with these workarounds. Just like how you have learned how to live without Google, I gotta come up with ways to try to do more with less.
Fair enough.
But I wanted to do this first article for you, sir, because we've had this ongoing debate about technology. So you don't see a problem with going back to paper maps. I do. My
I
dad.
never said that.
I have a problem with going back to paper maps, sir. I'm just saying. I just want
I
to let you know.
never said that.
I just want to let you know. Paper map sucks. You know.
You are putting words in my mouth, homie.
I would never do such a thing.
He trying to get his directions off a Dead Sea Scroll.
Oh snap!
Oh, yo,
Go ahead, sir.
that's not right.
Hey man, we gotta have some fun, damn it.
Man, you said they had to dredge the Mediterranean Sea to find your way around. But here you go. So Google Maps will help you discover neighborhood vibes. So all that precious data being collected, which I know that Dave is against, but I want to hear your viewpoint on it, sir. But Google Maps is taking that data that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, right, and consolidating it down and is able to give you the vibe of an area, to give you the ability to go, I wonder this area right here fits my personality. Do I want to go over there and eat? What type of eating vibe will it have? Do you think that?
Is it littered with Karens? They gotta have a Karen vibe for the map on that.
I'm just trying to figure out, I guess, what they mean by like vibes. Like, is this place have like an extraordinary amount of like sushi restaurants or something, or what are they meaning here?
I think what it is it's basically saying, hey, is because I mean they've kind of already been doing it for a while, and I think already like 3 or 4, I think about 3 years, where if you're like in a busy area like the holidays or whatever, it's going to be like, oh, this area is really busy, or this mall has a lot of people or stuff like that, and it kind of knows the data where like if a mall has this amount of people or Target or Walmart, etc.
Would have tell you
So
areas like
so
art,
it,
crafts.
Yeah.
Is it like upscale? It kind of give you the vibe of the neighborhood based
So-
on.
Yeah, like,
you're
is it
telling
gonna-
me that-
like, is it, uh-huh.
So you're telling me that Google Maps will be able to tell me, hey, there's a lot of drive-by shootings around here. Don't move in here.
I mean, there's already a map. For
I mean, there's already a map for that.
Yeah.
I was saying it don't take much to figure that one out.
Yep.
I live in a
The sex
neighborhood
offender-
where that's questionable for it right now.
the sex offender map app also gives you data on crime in an area. So if you want to know if there's a lot of robberies and things like that, it's all on the sex offender map, and it's live. It'll tell you it shouldn't happen 3 days ago on this corner. Tells you all of that, by the way.
So basically, with this one, they're talking about, like, let's say that you may discover a historic quarter, landmark museums, hottest restaurants, different things like that. So,
I'd be willing to bet that they will not try to implement like telling you it's a sketchy area, because they'll probably get sued for that.
Probably.
you would get
Of
sued for that.
Yep, because you're going to devalue the real estate in that area if you're telling everybody on the map, hey, this is a danger zone. or it's a lot of poor.
Everybody in Chicago would leave, basically.
Oh, that's what the problem is. People in Chicago are the problem. Who they
I
leaving?
wanna say to anybody who watches my YouTube videos from Chicago that I don't condone that information, and I would never say such thing about your
I
neighborhood.
condone it.
Any statements you hear on this podcast are the opinions of the creator and have nothing to do with the rest of the podcast. Those stupid legal disclaimers.
Yes, and you just threw it right into my lap. It's all his opinion, all of it. God,
Yeah, they're just gonna mark the whole city of Chicago as a shitty vibe.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yo, I just finished watching what was it, Resident Evil Apocalypse. Are you saying that he was gonna have to just nuke the place and sterilize it?
Pretty much, man. I hate to say, man, Chicago's
Chicago's not that bad.
Bull crap.
Hey, look, I've never been. I'm just saying that,
I don't think I need to go. That's that That's like,
Bro,
yeah,
Chicago is like the America Afghanistan.
The two places that I've always heard are really bad are freaking Gary, Indiana, and Detroit.
Oh yeah, they're bad too.
Oh yeah.
Ain't none of these places far from each other, by the way, guys. Chicago ain't
Mm-hmm.
Gary or Detroit.
Man, that's crazy. But okay, so now here's the thing. So I want to find out from Dave's point of view. So now that we've already gone through and labeled all this information for you, sir, of different areas that are potential hot spots. I'm not going to go in depth of how hot they might be, but potential hot spots. Do you think that this data that Google is collecting is being put to good use, or do you still think that it's just not worth it?
I don't see why you couldn't get the information from other sources, like other types of maps and things like that. Like if you're looking for just points of interest, I don't see why like Wikipedia or other maps can't give you that.
But it would
So I
take way
don't see
too
anything
long.
special here.
No,
See, hold on. The thing,
but this
about
is
it
live, Dave. This is live data.
Yeah, this is live. But another thing is that most people have Google Maps on their phones.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
not
here's the
only
thing.
that, but basically, if you're zooming into that area, it'll basically be like, hey, you're in the neighborhood of Fort Worth, you're in the neighborhood of Chicago or whatever, and it'll basically tell you what restaurants are in the area, what shopping centers, etc., to basically give
Yep.
you a good idea.
Where the good clubs are, what clubs are happening
Yeah,
this week. Is there a concert this week? All that information in one place. It's like,
yeah,
so basically, say there's a concert happening in say Chicago, right? And it's at a certain theater, and all the searches in that area are people searching for that concert, and you just happen to be in town, and you open up the map, it'll go, hey, everybody's looking for this freaking concert that's happening down the road from you.
I mean, it's basically a good idea if you're not familiar with the area or you're traveling or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. It's definitely not a bad use of the data. The problem is the fact that it's Google Maps.
Oh,
Come on, man.
And the terms the terms and conditions you have to agree to use Google Maps. There's the problem.
So
what about the
good
terms and conditions?
implementation?
But the
So you're
point is,
saying good
doesn't
implementation
exist,
is
no-
the wrong company.
if his
Yep.
thing, if no one is using Google Maps, then this doesn't exist.
That's exactly my thing. Good idea, wrong company.
Oh, there is no right company, Dave. Sorry.
I mean, look, my point is this, right? Is that the more data that people have at their fingertips, the more they can implement decisions that they want to do. So, like, as an Uber driver, I picked up this guy that was actually, and I hope I'm not outing this guy, but it's been over a year now. But he wanted to build an app. Okay, the app was going to be real time. Like, do you anybody remember what was the one where
MapQuest.
not MapQuest. Do you remember the app? I forget what it's called now, but it lets you check into places and you became mayor.
Foursquare.
So imagine Foursquare on steroids. He wanted to implement a Foursquare style map for like real time location for people that wanted to go to clubs. So like clubs and bars would like, let's say that they saw that their constituent level was not high enough, that they can go on their phone and put in like, yo, we're having like, half off drinks nights right now. And it would pop up and it would be like, hey, there's half off beers at such and such place right now. Let's go over there. Like they would try to manipulate the crowd to move towards their spot. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
So that's what they wanted to do. Now, this has been over a year and a half ago. So I said I wouldn't say nothing for a good while. But now I think that should have already been out by now. That's just me. But that type of information is valuable, especially like college crowd people. People in college. I mean, I pick up a lot of college kids. Everybody's looking for that new thing or whatever. It gives you a hyper vibe of the whole city.
And see, I'm okay with that. And the reason I'm okay with that is because the business is opting into that. So people know where the business is, and the business is opting into a service like that. That's fine. If it's tracking the users and being like, okay, currently this place is having a half off day or have a half off hour, and there are 200 people here, and here's who they are, that I'm not okay with.
But the thing is to get more viability out of the service, you do have to do a level of tracking.
That you have to prove people actually give a shit about it. You can just,
that's what I'm saying.
but if no one's responding, then that place is probably a trash place.
Like Arby's.
Meaning nobody's checking into the place, so there's proof that it's actually a good place to be.
Chipotle.
You show up to the place and there's 2 guys in there. He like, damn, I thought this place was jumping. What the hell?
Hey, look, I worked in a nightclub, and people would say that at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, because we would start taking cover at about 9:30, 10, right? And the guys will come up, and before the girls start showing up and everything, they would be like, "Man, ain't nothing going on in there. Why you charging me cover for right now?" And then, an hour and a half later, I got a line wrapped around the corner, and they're like, yo, I was just here. I'm like, nah, but you didn't pay. So that type of information is the thing is you're trying to figure out people's trends. How do you do that without getting real-time information from people?
If you do have to get real-time information, as long as it's opt-in, I don't see a problem with it. If you have to if it's an opt-out thing, I see a problem with it. If it's opt-in where you have to say, yes, I will okay with that, that's fine.
Well,
because the user's making a choice.
But you're opting in when you download it. You're basically saying, yo, I want to know what's going on. Now, in the terms of service, you let everybody know what's going on. But Google doesn't hide the fact that it tracks you. I mean, it's not
you don't
like,
think so?
No.
You don't think Google hides the fact that it tracks you?
Nope. Because here's the thing. I use Google Maps so much that it literally says I think it's yearly right now that they go and say, hey, do you want to see what your map data look like every month? And I'm like, yeah, let me see it. And I can literally go up there because as an Uber driver, I'm all over this whole region, that I can see my map data where I've been, gone, doubled back 15 times, went down the same road 35 times. I see all of that. They're very open about it.
I actually pinpoint all of the people's homes, my favorite restaurants, or places that I want to go to and stuff like that when I use Google Maps. I probably only use Apple Maps probably 15 times out of the year.
Well, you know what? That's a good question. Brandon, why don't you use Apple Maps, sir?
It's yesterday.
What happened yesterday? What happened yesterday?
No, it's yesterday.
Oh, the information is from yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
See, Dave, look what happens when you don't have up-to-date information. People don't even want to use the service.
And why can't you give the service up-to-date information?
Because I already have a job. I don't need another one. That's what Google's for.
Dave, you sound like the type of person that likes to cut coupons, bro.
like you're telling me you can watch fucking Kim Kardashian on television or whatever for like 2, 3, 4 hours a day.
Bro, but you look like the type of person that will not subscribe to Hulu. You will draw the Kardashians.
Oh, come on now. Hey, no disrespecting now, but
reality TV, it's the scum of the earth.
I know, I agree. But I'm saying like the majority of people can sit there 3, 4, 5 hours a day watching TV and can't take 15 seconds to say that this business is open till 10 p.m. now.
That's the business. That's the
business responsibility.
Not mine. Once again.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
I don't get paid to beat Google Maps for the planet.
Hey, look, but here's the thing. Even Google Maps was terrible during the pandemic, like the height of everything shutting down, nobody went back and updated their information on Google.
Mm-hmm.
Like you had
Yeah.
places. Here you go. You had places like 24-hour CVS's in my area go down to like closing at 6 and 7 o'clock. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
people are literally looking on their phone looking for like places to go get
And
just
that's one of
cough
the things that
medicine, and couldn't get cough medicine at 7 o'clock at night because the CVS has closed up shop because they wasn't getting a lot of traffic. It says 24 hours on the front, and they're like, "Nah, we good."
No, and there was no map anywhere that had
No
accurate.
map that updated it.
And the reason that people like the reason that Google Maps didn't get updated is because the company CVS or whoever manages these stores on Google Maps, and they either forget about it, like they said it in 2005, and then completely forgot about it,
Well,
or they've changed people, and the new person doesn't know how to do it.
well, let's not forget, Dave, that half these companies are being run by out of touch old people. They don't know how to do it.
That's true too.
That is true. But here's the thing: it's even worse than that, because here's the thing: every CVS is not 24. There's CVS's in my area that are not 24 hours, but there's a handful of them that are, and even they wasn't updated. So here you have, during the height of like one of the worst, outbreaks we had in a while, where people had to be forced to stay home, that information wasn't even updated on Google Maps. And Google is, me personally, has the better information. So now what happens when you start talking about other mapping software that don't even have half as much credibility as Google Maps does? What do you start going into then?
I mean, I will
What's
say
up, Cade?
this.
And no
I will say
tinfoil hat for
this.
Dave.
Do it now.
I will say,
Nah, Cade was responding through the message.
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead, Brandon.
no, I will say this. Like, one of the things that I actually like about Google Maps is, like, sometimes I know Macy's will have sales or whatever, and I know sometimes each week or weekend their hours always change. And the first thing I always do is zoom onto the mall I'm going to and see their hours. And another thing is, like, I know that you were saying earlier that during the pandemic, there a lot of stores' hours were always off because of a demand, or they were cleaning the stores or whatever. They were too scared, and that's one of the reasons why I had always used Google Maps, because I know Apple Maps, the information is old.
Now, here's the thing: in your standard, because you use Apple more than I would ever do right now.
Right.
How far behind is the data?
Sometimes it's old, and then sometimes, like, I feel like they catched up in certain areas, but I feel like overall, like, it's not. It could be better. But one of the things that I will say about Apple Maps that I actually like is the Street View actually looks clear.
Well, the Street
Yeah,
View's gotten better.
It's where it exists, Brendan. Let's not forget this.
Yeah, where it exists, yeah. But I mean, obviously, one of the things that I like about Google Maps is that on a desktop or an iPad, you can actually go back years back. In Apple, it only goes by whatever what was recorded then, and after that, if they go back, you can't see it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. So they don't hold the information?
Well, basically, like, they have it, but they're not going to show it out in the public. So, for example, if you go back 2007 or whatever, they're not going to have uh, this park or this restaurant or whatever. It's changed throughout the years. It'll only be like that one time, and if they go back, then basically they're only gonna have that up to date view of the area.
So you know what it is, Keon? What it is even Apple don't want to play for that extra iCloud storage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine how much like storage they'd have to use to maintain all that.
Yeah,
I mean, Apple uses a lot of data.
They're too cheap for that at Apple.
Unless somebody's paying them for it. And the other thing, you can't get no cheap than yourself.
Just wait till they drop Apple Maps Plus.
Oh wow. And you know it's coming. It's coming.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised in the least.
Look, here's the thing. I don't know how they're going to work it. Look, your solution, Dave, is not to give up no data, but Google literally takes all that data to give you better maps. Apple doesn't even get any data from its customers. Like, Siri sucks. Okay,
Siri does suck.
Siri sucks,
You
and
suck.
if Siri sucks, if Siri sucks, keep in mind this is the world that you would love for all of us to live in. If Siri sucks and it needs data to be able to get better, imagine what Apple Maps is going to be, and there's no data being given.
Siri sucks because Apple stopped working on it because they thought they were ahead in 2014 or whatever when they launched the iPhone 4S.
They weren't even close in 2014.
Ahead, they didn't pull out the garage yet.
Well, they thought they were ahead, and they rested on their laurels and didn't improve Siri. And then freaking Google in 2016, like 5 years later, came out with the assistant and beat the pants off of them.
Oh no, they were further along than that. Keep in mind, if you now, because I live in the Googleverse, here's the thing. Like 5 years before Siri came out, Google was already testing their search capability by voice before that.
Yeah, I remember Google Now and Google Now on Tap.
So they were already testing that information out, and what they ended up doing was, by the time Siri came out, Google was already making it on-device searches where the query would go locally. Like, it would use the internet if it needs to, but you could still do queries on the phone locally. So, like, let's say I wanted to open the app, I could say, "Hey, open, Reddit." On my phone, it didn't send that search query to the cloud and come back. It would do the search on the phone. That's when Siri came out, and Siri was like, had all those people talking about, "Siri, do you love me? Do you love me? Will you marry me?" And all that information got fed back to Apple, and it was basically made Siri like a 12-year-old that never grew up. It was that bad.
I would say she wasn't even 12 then, man. She was probably 7 or 8.
Probably. But it never grew up. I mean, I hear people like in the back of my car like doing voice dictation, and Apple's voice dictation sucks.
It does. It is so bad, bro. Oh my god. Oh, painful, dude.
It's sad. It sucks.
It is insane. Like Google.
No radio. Do you think Alexa's smarter?
Goddamn right.
Oh shit.
Apple might as well. It don't work for crap, bro, at all.
But Dave, there's reasons why you need multiple data points from different sources. You can't just have your own data point and then work off of that and then try to improve your product. You need to fail and succeed in different areas, like different languages, different backgrounds,
different accents, all that.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you ask people to help you, that's fine because they're voluntarily doing it. Taking it from people without their knowledge and consent is the problem.
I'm sorry. If you're using a Google product and you don't know they got your data, you're a goddamn idiot and you deserve to be hacked and conned.
I completely agree, but there's lots of people who don't.
People idiots.
What I'm saying is this argument that they're taking all these people's data. Who are these people you speak of? Who are these idiots? What person? I don't think I could find anybody right now that don't know Google taking their damn data. I don't think I could find a person that would admit to that stupidity level.
I mean, unless you lived underneath a log for a long time and all of a sudden emerged in 2022.
Under the log with them worms and crickets and stuff. Anybody got time for you?
People don't know what all is being taken though. They know that their data is being used, but they have no idea how and what's being used.
I need you to go one of these people.
They're ignorant of the what.
I need you to go find me one of these people and bring them in.
But Google is way more transparent than other companies, man. Like, here you go.
Apple lied to you because they weren't taking your data, and they were. And then you know why they lied? Because they only using your data for their own good. They're still taking your data. They already got busted for that. Let's not forget.
And Google did too. Don't forget Google got yelled at and sued by the government because they people thought they had location services off, but Google was still using like IPs and Wi-Fi triangulation to find out where people were with GPS off, and so they got sued for that.
Well, your cell phone does that all day, every day anyway.
Yeah, but hold on, Dave. Here's the thing. Here's my take, right? How do you complain about not having location services on, but then when you're trying to find a place to go, your phone don't work?
I don't.
Like,
it's not that it doesn't work. It's just that it's dumb because you make it like you take all of the knowledge off of it and stuff like that, and nor does the other person know how to use it at all either. Because I mean, let's say, like basically it is like it's basically disabling the smarts of it.
I use location services. I just don't send the data to Google.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing: other people do, and they're trying to find you. How are they going to deliver your pizza to you if they can't find out where you are? And you're basically like, "Yo, find me next to the tree underneath the street lamp."
No, because when I order a pizza, when I order a pizza, I tell them to bring it to 123 Main Street, and the person shows up to 123 Main Street and knocks on the door, and I come to the door and say, "Hey, yeah, I ordered this pizza,"
and you do,
and I get my pizza.
Yeah, so yeah, that means you don't use apps to order food either.
I use this thing called a website, or I call one of the two.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, man. You know,
like I go to Domino's.com and I hit the order now button and I order my food.
You use cash only because guess what? They can link your card even through the website. They can link your card to the address that the food was delivered to on their back end, and they will. And then that restaurant will share your information.
Yep.
So you still need to share.
Here's the thing. I tell people this all the time. Wendy's got hacked, right? And Bank of America had to reissue me a new card. And I asked people, I said, why in the world does Wendy's need to keep my card? Because I know I didn't keep that burger.
They're using that to get statistics on the sales they make to whatever your profile they have of you is.
The real problem with that is this, actually. The real problem with a company having your card is that our financial system is a pull type financial system where you give the information to somebody and then they pull the money off of your account. Where really and truthfully, if we wanted to solve this hacking problem, what we need is a push system where Domino's tells me that'll be $23.57 and I give them a token, like my card issues them a token automatically for $23.57, and that's all that can be taken. And that's all that can be taken. And if Joe Blow the hacker gets that token and tries to use it later, there's nothing for it. There's nothing on it. It's already been used.
Beauty of virtual cards. There's they already
do virtual cards.
Literally regenerates a new card on every transaction if I wanted to.
Yeah, and that's the problem is that that's fundamentally still a pull system. They're just trying to fix the problems.
Yeah, but you know what? But here's the thing: a lot of these other companies don't like it because they don't get enough information from you. They want to know when your cat died when you were 3 years old. That's what they want.
But they don't need to know that.
Hey, but that's what they demand.
Well, what I'm saying is for them to maximize their profits, Dave, they build profiles of you so they can predict your behavior for their profits in the future. That's why they do it.
That's why.
You don't have to like it, but this is why. They want to maximize profits. They don't want to maximize your life. They want to maximize theirs.
Oh, I know why. I get why.
Hey, look. My take is this
regularly, they have a profile about you. Believe me. Whatever company it may be, if you shop with them regularly, they have a profile about you. They know what time of year you spend more money with them. They know all this information.
Oh, I know, and that's why I'm saying you can't never be completely anonymous.
Nope.
I'm saying you can't ever manage that.
What's up, Ash?
A lot more money by not doing it your way. That's the reason why.
Ain't no radio. Ash just commented and said, "Cat lives matter."
Cat lives matter. If you're a business and I tell you, hey, go out of your way to be less profitable, no business wants to do that.
No, they want the metadata for the metadata of the metadata, man. But
Yeah, the system
my
is fundamentally broken.
My sentiments is this:
Well, it's broken for who? Broken for the business owners or broken for you?
It's broken for the people.
Yeah, but people are business owners.
People don't care.
I own a business. I want all my
look.
to be
This
right.
is it's already understood that your data is out in the wild all the time. I mean, like right now, there's been so many hacks that it's like it's laughable now. Like the idea of security is just like, as long as I could try to get my credit card and eventually become an adult one day, people don't care.
And data, quite frankly, is toxic waste. Like a good comparison for data is toxic waste, because the more of it you hold, you've got to protect that. And when you don't protect it, you will get your ass sued.
Well, here's the thing. Now, these companies haven't been sued enough.
And these
companies, I agree.
You got to realize companies have full-time lawyers and bank accounts set aside just for lawsuits. They do not care.
The problem is that these fines aren't big enough. If you find a company, say like something happened, right, and you find a company 20 or 30% of their revenue, they would pay attention.
You got to remember too, though, guys. Legality and lawsuits don't have anything to do with each other. That means a company can get sued for doing something that's not illegal. Doesn't have to be illegal for you to get sued for something. So when you say fines used to come from the government. Fines means you broke a law. If you're not breaking law and you get sued,
you know these companies lobby to keep these type of laws off the book. Period.
Exactly.
They don't want Congress and the Senate and the president to all of a sudden pass a law saying that, hey, if you collect data and you have a breach, for every single person that you have data on, it's like a $1,000 fine or $1 million fine. Bro, they push back so hard on that, it's ridiculous, man.
Bro, like if you make $1 billion, if you make $1 billion doing something and it's wrong, and the fine for doing it once you're caught turns out to be $1 million, well, you just made $999,999,000 more dollars for doing it than you got fined. Therefore, you're going to keep doing it. If you're charged that entire $1 billion as a fine, or something even close to it, you'll think twice about doing it.
No, you know what they'll do?
You're starting to sound like a capitalist.
They'll just
no
for themselves. That's what they'll do.
I am a capitalist. What the hell are you talking about?
I said, no, not capitalist. I'm sorry. You starting to sound like a socialist.
Oh,
you starting to sound like a socialist, sir. That's socialist talk. We don't condone that stuff here.
I'm just saying, an eye for an eye. You make $1 billion doing something wrong, you get charged $1 billion as a fine. I think that's an eye for an eye, and I think that's fair.
I don't know if I want to go that far, but the fines do need to be steep enough to make them actually believe in security.
Yeah, like when it's 0.00001% of what you made, it's not a fine anymore. It's
you know what? But here's the thing: when you end up doing that, then it makes anybody else that wants to form a company skittish about doing a company in the first place.
But here's guess what?
Now go ahead.
But guess what happens if you actually find companies like that? Guess what actually is going to happen?
You don't have any new companies, and guess what? The bigger ones are the only ones that's able to operate.
You're going to run out of companies to find, which means the government won't have anybody to take money from. And the government wants that pool to tap. That's the point you're missing. If the government actually finds companies out of business, then they won't have anybody to find.
I didn't say find them out of business.
Okay, you're telling me if I start a new business and I make $1 billion and you find me $1 billion, now I'm out of business, sir.
So what did you do to get fined that $1 billion?
This is your imagination, not mine. I want to know. You tell me what $1 billion fine is for what? What's the $1 billion infraction?
Hey, look, I'm just saying.
If you're operating above board, and you if you're operating in the green and you're not doing any like shady shit, then you won't get fined.
I understand that, but what I'm telling you is the long term of actually operating that means that there won't be companies to find, which means the departments of the government that actually do that disappear. And they don't want to disappear. They have to justify their existence. This is the reason why they won't ever truly find anybody. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm telling you what it is. That's why
I know.
the police actually won the war on drugs. They wouldn't have jobs anymore.
That war
No
never
different.
gonna win.
It's
That
no
war never
different.
gonna ever win.
Exactly. They don't want to win because if they won, they wouldn't have a use anymore.
Hey, look, we just the war just found another. All the thing the war did was found another foothold that became the opioid pandemic.
Exactly. Just remember, all the policing in this country has two root causes: poverty and drug use. Every other crime you can name is linked to poverty or drug use. If you actually fix those problems, you now don't have police anymore. Who wants to do that job so good they don't have a job anymore?
Wouldn't it be a better world if you didn't need the police?
Well, of course, but the point is the police don't care about that. They care
I
about
know.
their job. I didn't say right or wrong. I'm talking about why these things happen like they do. That's what I ain't saying it's right. I'm telling you what it is.
That's true.
How I feel about it don't matter. The facts are the facts, and the facts are that if you do a job too good, you literally turn yourself into a dinosaur.
Yeah, you automate yourself out of a job or whatever. I totally agree with that.
This is why the government's never going to truly hit these people hard. If the EPA cleans up the fucking environment, who's going to what they going to do after they get done cleaning up the environment? What they going to do?
Shut down, close the doors. We've done our job. Our mandate.
They gonna go on standby until they're needed again. Like they go into a minimal operation state where they just aren't needed until they are, and then they ramp back up and do what they need to do, and then they go back into that state again.
Look, that sounds like a terrible factory that lays off people every year when the business slows down.
Just like you turn on and off your laptop. You turn it off when you don't need it, and you turn it on when you do.
Yep.
So let me ask y'all. I got another story I want to bring up.
Let's move on, please.
Oh yeah, we can move along.
I want to bring this one up. And Dave, you haven't been up here for this one. So in the land of trying to clean up the EPA, which I'm kind of glad we ended on that one. How do you feel about this one? So I'll read it to you. New York joins California in aiming to make all auto sales hybrids or EVs by 2035. So California is basically saying we're not going to let anybody sell gasoline vehicles in that state, and New York is joining suit. How do you feel?
New York said
most people in New York don't even drive anyway.
I'm not sure what my opinion is on it, because on the one hand, I want to say that it's a pretty good idea, because the fact that you're going to have less pollution and shit in the air, you're going to have less of that stuff in the air. But on the other hand, if you take a look at the other side of the supply chain, like the mining to get the minerals in China and the Congo and whatever, and slave child labor and crap like that, it's still just as bad. It's just continuing to force that awful conditions into the third world. So really and truthfully, what are we fixing?
Nothing.
Okay, but let me ask this question.
Right.
If those things you just said can be worked on, but putting less pollution in the air is the end goal, right? You don't want, right now you got temperatures going through the roof. We just had a hurricane pass over California and then double back into South Carolina, sliced up to North Carolina.
What kind of
hurricane?
California is in North Carolina.
He was looking at Apple Maps.
I think you got your space confused there, bro.
Oh,
I didn't know California and South Carolina were next to each other.
Sorry, my bad. You just had a hurricane slice through Florida, okay, and then now it turned around and doubled back, went to the Atlantic, and then came up through the Carolinas, okay.
Right.
So these hurricanes are getting bigger. So which one do you?
They're the same.
No, they're not. They're not the same.
They're not Katrina.
Bro.
I've read several different opinions on this. I've read opinions from the environmentalists that say hurricanes are getting stronger and hurricanes are getting more frequent. And I've also read things that say that point out the statistics over 30 and 40 years don't show a major uptick in hurricanes, the number of hurricanes per year. And it's like, I don't know what to believe at this point.
How is that? How did you read that one and not hear about all the hurricanes we had last year? They ran out of names for hurricanes.
I know.
Alpha, beta, gamma.
I remember.
I mean,
but that statistically averages out.
You go right out too.
You had a bad year one year, sure, but statistically, when you look at it over 40, 50, whatever years, it averages out.
So here go the statistics. What was it? The last hurricane before Ian that hit Florida, it's roughly about the same size, same place. I think it was, I forget what the name of the other hurricane was, but the previous one, right? They said that the eye of the storm was 10 miles wide. Okay. Ian was 40 miles wide. The hurricane was bigger than the previous one that hit that's roughly the same size. These storms are getting bigger, and they're getting bigger because of climate change.
Keon, would you not argue that climate also changes on its own?
Climate changes on its own, yes. I think that the planet goes through ebbs and flows all the time.
Exactly.
So I was going to say, because in the Cretaceous, like in the Cretaceous period, we had hotter climates than we do now. And we had fucking foot-high cockroaches and shit like
that. He's right, though.
He's right. Okay.
So our planet has gone through a lot warmer spells than we're in now.
But here's the thing. Those ebbs and flows were because the planet was going through it, not because of, human beings forcing it to go through it.
And Keon, the average hurricane is 20 to 40 miles wide. That's the average.
I'm not talking about the hurricane itself.
You said that
the eye.
That's what we're talking about.
40 miles wide.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Because the average hurricane is huge. It's freaking 300
miles wide, and the eyes average 20 to 40. So it's not like 40 is unheard of. It's not bigger.
It's not because it's not unheard of. But I'm just saying, radio. Look, I'm from North Carolina. I'm from Eastern North Carolina.
40 mile out again. Did the hurricane get bigger or no?
No.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, I'm from Eastern North Carolina, where hurricanes is just a way of life. Okay.
Oh, I already know that.
And understand, these hurricanes are starting to become out of hand. They're worse than drive-by shooters in Chicago. Okay.
But bro, the last big 1996.
Yes,
I went there. I said it.
1998. Last time.
Also, don't forget that the sun is getting hotter every year. Like it is literally measurable that the sun, as it ages, is getting bigger and hotter, and therefore everything in the solar system is going to get hotter. And the only way to fix it would be to literally take the planet and move it further out.
Yeah, but hold on. I've seen movies talk about this, but Dave, we're talking about within the last, I say, 150 years, we have caused more damage to our own environment than the sun is ever doing, and it's slated to be around for another couple billion years. I mean, that's like a blink.
Oh, I agree. We've done a lot of damage, that's for sure. And I'm not saying climate change. I'm not a climate change denier. I'm just pointing out that there are other factors in play here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like when you brought up the fact that there's questionable mining in different parts of the world, those things can be mitigated. I mean, there's battery tech that's looking to not use minerals that are questionable, right?
They're also working on being able to refine used batteries, actually being able to refine the lithium out of a depleted battery. They're working. They don't have
how many? Well, hold on, Dave. But how many companies is trying to take the smog and turn it back into gas. They put it up in the air, but they don't. Look, they're happy to put it up in the air, but they don't want to do nothing about cleaning it or putting it back. Putting it back into some automobiles again.
They want to dish out the hate. They can't take the hate.
Hey, I'm just saying, like I don't fault New York and California for doing what they're doing. I mean, they do cover 20% of the U.S. population. If you got 20% of the U.S. population, you can pretty much move the nation, regardless if it wants to move or not.
What we need to do is work on moving outwards, because if we get to the point where we can go mine the asteroids, then we don't need to hurt the environment at all, because we can manufacture.
We already shot an asteroid, so we're working on that now.
Yeah, exactly. But when we get to the point where we can do that, we can collect gold and silver and tungsten and whatever chemicals from asteroids, and they're barren, lifeless rocks, and we don't have to hurt our environment at all. And it wouldn't surprise me if in the next 150 years we get to that point. And 150 years is not a whole lot of time in the grand scheme of things.
And I think that we're moving in that direction. I'm just saying, like right now, the problem at hand is, I feel that certain people don't want to move. They don't want to change. They love their gasoline vehicles, but gasoline vehicles are not. I mean, what happens when you start running out of gas? What happens when you start running out of oil? Which we've had oil embargoes that's popped up before. I mean, this past summer, gas hit $5 a gallon.
And look at the 1970s when there was fuel rationing.
Right.
The energy crisis. Yep.
Do you know how bad it feels when you have Tesla owners in your car talking about how wonderful it feels not to have to pay for gas?
It's still going to their power bill.
Yeah.
Yes, but your power bill increases a lot less than the gas price does.
A lot less.
Yeah, I mean, you can
it's a crazy factor less.
Like, I'm just saying something. A couple of kilowatts on your bill, you be like, I'll take that. Versus what I was paying this past summer, man. I was literally trying to hide from the sun and I drive a hybrid and I still couldn't make my car efficient enough to keep myself cool.
Let me see something here.
I burn about $180 of gas every 2 days in my company truck.
But that's what I'm saying, is that the fact that California and New York is looking to push this, I mean, I'm all down for it. I'm ready to go. Let's go ahead and make this happen now.
In New York, they ain't got nobody driving no way.
So here, my per kilowatt hour cost is like 5 cents. So if I charge a 100 kilowatt hour EV battery, that's $5 per time I have to charge it. If I have to charge it once per day, that's 30 days. That brings my power bill up by $150. You pay more for that in gas in a week than you do.
No. Whoa, you just said 30 days. Hold on, sir. Hold on. See, your math is wrong. See, you're looking at this from your bill going up $150 over a course of a month. Do you know what my gas consumption bill went up as? It went up over 40%. Because gas went from $3.30 a gallon to $5.20. My gas budget blew apart. I went from.
So how much extra were you paying per month for gas?
I was paying an extra like $150.
And so that's an extra $150 on top of what you were already paying. And I'm saying that with an EV, that would be the entire amount of fuel for the month.
And here's the thing: if you were, let's say that you live within like less than an hour from your job, you're not pumping that much electricity back into that battery for going an hour there and an hour back.
Exactly.
So your electric bill is not really going to be that high.
And I was running at a full discharge and recharge cycle every single day. Like, I was assuming that you would literally flatten the battery completely and then recharge it completely every single day for an entire month. Of course, you're not going to do that. So how much do you pay for gas, Keon?
I pay about now it's at $3.35 a gallon right now. So
And if you add up all your gas bills
I pay I hold on a
for a
second.
month,
I weekly my gas consumption is about less than $100 now.
so less than $100, let's call it 80. So if you multiply
Okay.
80 by 4, you get
Okay.
$3,600. Excuse me, 36, $360. So your gas consumption is $360 worth, and that EV recharging full every single day is $150 worth. So
It's
literally,
not
I just
100, but it's not
half your.
100, but it's not 150 a day.
No, it's 150 a month. So 360 a month compared to 150 a month. I just over half your freaking driving bill.
Yeah, but guess what? I would rather have that 150 a month than the 360 a month.
Exactly. Right now you're paying
Y'all
360. I'm
both
saying
are.
with an EV you pay 150 or less.
Go ahead, no radio. What were you about to say?
I said y'all are literally arguing the same point.
I
Yep.
feel that we
Go
are.
ahead,
That's what I'm
no.
like. I was confused. I'm like, hold on. I was
Yep.
feeling like, yo,
Kia
I don't.
just wants to argue so bad that he's going to argue when he agrees.
Well,
I am
Keon
not
did
that.
ask me.
I'm not
Hey,
argumentative.
Keon did ask me if I wanted to debate. Like he literally sent me an email. It's like, you want to debate tonight? Sure. What are we debating? He didn't say we had to debate the opposite viewpoint.
Hey, I wasn't sure which way you were going. I'm like, hold on. I want the cheaper
No, I
bill.
wasn't against you. I was pointing out your savings,
I
bro.
want the cheaper bill.
I know you do.
Oh man, no
You know,
radio.
That way you can
Already.
spend it on more. That way you can spend it on more YouTube Premium.
Keon thought he found some smoke, but he found baby powder.
Wow.
He gonna give Google that $150.
Oh shit.
Hey, I'm getting a refund. I am getting a refund, sir. So hold on. So for people who don't care, but this is for me, Google Stadia is shutting down. Half the internet is crying, and the other half is like, it's about damn time.
Half the internet? You mean like 0.01% of the internet?
Hey, look, understand? I've been listening to all these different YouTubers that built their YouTube channel around Google Stadia and the idea of it, and they were like, "Yo, we don't know where we're gonna go at from here." And then the other half is like Engadget, Verge, even Linus Tech Tips is laughing at Google Stadia right now.
I'm telling you, this affects nobody. In the grand scheme of things, this affects nobody. And if you're dumb enough to build a career around a Google product, then you're just asking to get burned. Look what happened to Google. Like, there's a litany of Google products that have been shut down over the years. You've got Inbox, Google Allo, Google Duo, which got merged. Google whatever was it, Google News or whatever that got merged into something else or shut down. Google, like the iGoogle. Like, there are so many Google products. Google Plus that get shut down. That if you build a career around a Google product, you're an idiot.
Not really, because I mean, if you're really YouTube.
The only Google products you can build a career around and expect it to stay is YouTube and Android.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
If you build your product, or if you build your brand or your business around any other Google product except for YouTube or Android, you're gonna get fucked.
I just feel, but you know what? Here's the thing. The problem with Google is I feel like they have enough power to really actually want to push something, but they always half-ass it.
Yeah, they don't have the vision. Exactly.
No, they not even so much as the vision. I feel like they're afraid to actually flex, right?
They don't want to see it through.
No. I feel like they literally don't want to flex. Like, look at it from this standpoint, right? YouTube is like literally flexing on everybody right now, but not a lot of people associate YouTube with Google.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you got YouTube TV. Look at the growth of YouTube TV over the last three to 4 years. I mean, it's almost like YouTube was like, "Yo, we're gonna make this happen, and anybody that gets in our way is about to get burned," right? And that's something I've watched like YouTube do, but Google itself won't do it. They won't do it for none of their properties. Android is the only one they flexed on, and they halfway do that.
What I mean by they don't have the vision is that they don't want to see something through. Like they create something that's actually really, really good, and then they're like, oh, after 2 years or 3 years, not as many people are using this thing as we would like to. So instead of trying to get people to use it by giving discounts or doing advertising or something, they're just like, okay, we're going to shut this down. And it's a really good product.
Now go ahead, Kate. Me and Cave, I'm gonna have a stern talking to him later on, sir.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm playing. But no, go ahead and finish your thought.
But that's what happens is Google gives up on good things too fast because they're not getting the kind of adoption they wanted out of it. And therefore to them it's a failure, where to anybody else they'd be like, this is a raving success. Imagine if Sony or somebody had the same amount of users Google Stadia did.
Oh no, they would have considered that a successful product. But Google being a multi-billion-dollar company, probably over $1 trillion company now, like, yo, what is big for a decent sized company is peanuts in comparison.
And see, in that case, you might want to argue that Google is too big, because if Google takes good products and shuts them down because they don't fit, they would be fine. They would be good for any other business that came across it and did it. And yet to Google, they're failures. Maybe the problem isn't the product that was made, but maybe the problem is
the company that's using it.
Mm-hmm.
So they only have 2 million subscribers.
No, they have more than that. Well, they had 5,000 active subscribers. So
what?
5,000 active like monthly subscribers.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's not enough, dog. That's my point.
Bro, even Mitchell has more subscribers on his
Lord, he found a way.
Okay, yeah. How big is the gaming market? What is the total?
The gaming market is huge. It's huge.
It's
a multi-billion-dollar business.
2 million total subscribers after how many years?
Barely 3.
That's all I'm saying. It's not really. Think about it. Imagine it only has 2 million customers.
But here's the thing: it's kind of bad when you get ready to start a product and half the end, like 2/3 of the industry don't even want you to even do it. Like, come on, look, I found it kind of funny that people would go on YouTube, which is a Google product, to rail on Stadia and talk about how it's going to fail, but you're using a Google product.
But
that's true.
I don't get how that correlates.
To be fair, I don't think Google listens to the market either. Like, they don't listen to what people actually want. They just do what they want, and then they expect people to like it. And I think that's the wrong approach.
Yeah, it is. I'm just of the fact that I feel like Google, the company, won't do anything. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that Android took off because it was a freer option than what Apple was offering, I think that they would have shut down Android.
I would agree.
Yeah, but what's the Android user base?
The Android user base is huge.
No, it's not.
It's huge.
Yes, it is. I think the Android user base is something like 3 billion.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Brandon. Brandon tripping.
Look, he's talking about in the United States, sir.
The Google,
Yeah, Brandon's talking about the United States.
Yeah,
Worldwide,
you're
the
talking about
Android
the
user
US.
base is like 3 billion people.
to fail.
Look,
In the rest of the world, the iPhone
took over top spot. So
Apple
in
50% in the US, dog.
in the rest of the world, Apple is an afterthought of an afterthought.
Doesn't exist.
ooh,
Oh, I agree.
man, where were you at when we were railing on Apple a couple weeks ago?
Oh, I'm fine for railing on almost anybody.
But no, but here's the thing. You see how you see how Google is very standoffish when it comes to Android. Like, Android should have been a Google product, period, and Samsung should have been like, yo, this is Google's bait. That's what it should have been. But no, everybody equates Android to Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
That means that you, as a company, Google let somebody else take the identity.
Yep, Google didn't take enough control of Android. Of course, there's Android open source project, and Google can't get rid of that. But but they could have taken better control of licensing GNS and forced companies into doing what they wanted.
Look, I'm not a big Samsung fan, but I got multiple Samsung products because they're the only ones that's doing it. Versus everybody else.
I wouldn't have a Samsung product if you paid me.
Well, I understand that's a whole nother subject. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But look, I already know the backstory. But I'm just saying in general that Samsung literally doesn't want to be under Google so bad that they try to come up with their own OS that looked like it was Android. Anybody remember Tizen?
Yep.
Tizen was going to mimic Android all the way down to the processing level almost, but it just didn't use the same APIs. That's how much they wanted to get away from it. But that's just something I've always noticed about the company is that they'll have some great idea, and then because it didn't get enough traction, because they didn't push it, YouTube and YouTube TV is YouTube's identity to being in television. They push the heck out of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's YouTube TV ads everywhere. There's YouTube TV ads on YouTube about YouTube TV. That's how much they push it. Google's like, gaming, we're not really gamers, but we're gonna try. Like, that's not how you go into a market where other companies you're basically gonna upend the whole gaming industry. I'm sorry.
You go in and you blitz it and you tell everybody so many times that they get sick of hearing it and they try your service, like T-Mobile does in these small towns.
See? Apparently Google needs T-Mobile's advertising team.
Hell yes, they do. If Google had T-Mobile's advertising team, they'd be.
Oh, dog! You think they have problems in the EU right now? Shoot.
Do y'all think Amazon will be the next tech company?
Amazon?
Well, I mean, I know that it already is, but like bigger than what it is now, like almost at Google and Facebook.
I mean, technically, as like e-commerce, almost nobody matches on.
Yeah, I think I got 40 pounds already. So
Well, anyway, to the subject. Well, not really. Sling lost the Disney networks.
Well, hold on. You getting ahead of me.
Oh, what?
Hold on, Brandon. Man, you move fast. All right, so there you go. Go ahead. ABC, ESPN, and other Disney networks go dark on Dish and Sling TV.
Mm-hmm.
I got two words. Who cares?
Oh,
it's
no.
Dish.
Oh.
It's Dish we're talking about. It's Dish, and it's like Sling is an afterthought, and freaking Dish is pretty much an afterthought too. Like your standard TV is dead.
Well, I mean,
Sling is the worst.
Like standard TV is a zombie walking. That's all it is.
Honestly,
hey,
all right. Yeah.
Okay, when you come into the room, I need you to clap, sir. You can't just sneak in.
Dang, you gonna
Wow.
make him clap like he about to steal something?
Well,
Sneaking in.
I came in here because I had to say something about the whole sling thing. I don't think
Okay.
TV is dead. If I had the money, I would actually use cable because
Bruh, TV is dead. TV is dead.
I would
Dang.
use
No,
cable.
it's not. But I will say this: it's slowly getting there.
It's not as popular, but it's not dead. I can assure
Look,
you. But
Well,
TV is
traditional
in the living
TV is
room
dead.
in a wheelchair with one of them oxygen tanks next to it with the damn cable wrapped around his head right now. That's where live TV is.
Yo, traditional TV is dead. Yes. Traditional. Like you going like anything that has to do with some type of schedule, programming, that's dead. Like those days are done. Like you just trying to keep that around is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Hey,
people.
back in my days, we had to actually tune in at a certain time to watch the TV.
You got to realize too, guys. People had different jobs back then. So, like most people worked in factories, and you had schedules where you got off at set times. Everybody has unique jobs now. Everybody can't show up at the house at 5 p.m. on the dot to start the show. That's the reason why
Right.
DVR, put a Band-Aid on it for a few years, but now streaming has just slaughtered it.
Right. Which is the reason why like Netflix is having a hard time with their shows because everybody binge watches it and then run away.
It's funny how, because like there are, like topics or whatever, like England, when you do like live sports or whatever, like the power companies in London can see the spikes when there's commercials in the soccer games or whatever, because people are putting their TLs on during the freaking commercials.
Wow.
Oh,
here you
all
go.
the stoves turn on at once.
Everybody gets tea in unison.
Yep.
All the lights dim.
honestly,
It must be a commercial.
I
Manchester United. It must be a commercial.
like traditional TV. I think it's going to be a while until it's dead. And the reason why I like traditional TV is for one reason. Some streaming services don't have all the shows you want to watch. Sometimes they have to add it. But live TV, they have some of the shows that aren't on streaming services.
Look,
If that makes sense.
See,
the
but
only thing
both ways.
we're waiting on. The only thing that we're waiting on right now is football. Football is
See,
the
my
last
thought-
holdout.
No, we're not.
See,
What do you
my
mean
thought
we're
is that regular, like, traditional paid TV might actually be dead. And the reason I say that is because, like, streaming has seemed to take over the paid market. And then if you want TV for free, like your local news and stuff like that, you do over-the-air stuff.
And so can you. By donating at
What the hell?
The
Plasma,
thing about it
your
is that
plasma
donation
everybody
can
was
help create
hoping
20
that they
critical
subscribe to a
life-saving
streaming
medicines.
service
Oh,
and
it's
they
a
were
commercial.
And you can receive up to
Hold on.
$1,000
Use it.
your first month. Every
There we go.
What the
And it's
hell?
playing to my TV.
oh snap.
Now it's playing. I don't know how that commercial started up.
That's the ghost of TV's past creeping up on
Mental casted it to your laptop admin.
Mitchell is trying to get those commercials for
Oh,
Boombastic
Lord.
Network.
Made it this far with no Mitchell.
No, we almost. Good God.
But yeah, I think like people are going to either over-the-air TV or streaming.
I feel like the original dream was to go pay directly the streaming service, and then everything would just be on that they wanted, and now it's too expensive, and the content is not all there.
But we're already seeing what happens when you trying to push everything to streaming. Everything becomes a plus. Plus this, plus that, plus. Bro, I'm
Plus
so tired of
tax.
seeing everything plus, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, this
The
happened.
only thing I want to see the only thing I want to see plus is some tick old bitties.
Oh, Lord.
Amen.
Somewhat.
Amen. Amen.
Hey, don't. I'm not. We don't need to ask him what he meant. I know what he meant. I know exactly what he meant. Hey, Brandon, it's before your time. So it's before your time.
Is it Playboy Plus?
Oh, man.
Yes, there we go.
Oh,
Pornhub Plus.
No, hey, get your facts right. It's Pornhub Premium.
Oh,
gotcha.
you would know.
Cave, sir. There's nothing I can say. I can't save you, sir. I
Oh,
can't save you.
this YouTube stream, if it had been monetized, would sure as hell not be now.
Yeah, as I said, I haven't got to monetization yet, but I'm working on it. I can't.
We're
Can't have nights like this.
We're taking
If
advantage
you
of
wanna
the freedom of speech until he's monetized.
If you want to support Keon, do it on Patreon because his streams are going to be demonetized like crazy.
Hey, y'all just get ready. When I start my YouTube channel, I'm gonna literally call the channel demonetized.
No, radio is determined to be the opposite of everything.
Yep.
The complete
Demonetized
opposite.
tech.
Yep.
But no, I'm just saying, man. Like with Dish, it seems like Dish is just ready to get out of the whole TV business as it is.
No, they're
not even
not.
trying. They're not trying, bro. How do you lose ABC, ESPN, and Disney?
Dish Network always has problems with negotiation. They're the ones that lose the most amount of locals and channels compared to anybody else.
If I want local channels, I'll put up an antenna and get it for free.
So will Dish. Let's not forget that.
Literally.
That's true.
Literally.
It is shocking to me it's shocking to me that that Dish Network actually gives you the ability to add local channels for $12.
Yes, let's add something you can get for free and charge them $12 a month.
But rural American people sometimes cannot get access to those channels.
Oh, that's bullshit. That is total bullshit.
Dave, that is literally why cable TV exists. It existed because people were in places where they were too far from the TV towers. So somebody put a big antenna up and pulled the channels in and then rent it out through the town. That's literally how.
We had
the birth of cable.
We had an antenna on our roof, and we could get TV channels from Jacksonville, Florida, and Savannah, Georgia. We were 100 miles from both.
I didn't say your house, did I?
If you're within 100 miles of a major city, then you can get TV over the air.
These people were not. That's the point. That's literally why cable started. It was literally called cable antenna TV for that purpose.
Well, yeah, but Dave,
that's what CAT stands for.
Yes, that's what it stands for. Look it up. Cable antenna TV.
But Cave, here's the thing, man. If you let's say you lived in the mountains or something, and radio waves don't propagate over objects, you would not be able to get it. You had to have somebody rebroadcast it back down to you in the valley.
Yep.
It depends on what radio waves you're talking about. But yes, as a general rule, you're right.
Yeah, if you look at the origin story, that is literally the origin story. There's a TV repair shop that couldn't sell any TVs because the signal didn't reach the town he was in. So he went up on a damn mountain and put an antenna up and ran it down to give everybody better signal. Literally what he did. And that's how cable TV started.
And cable TV was born.
It was born.
Man. The birth of cable.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Let me see you pull HBO on the TV on a regular.
Cable was born. Cable grew up. Cable became an adult. Cable got taxed to hell, and now cable's dead.
Oh,
so wait, you guys are talking about antenna TV. I was talking about getting not direct TV, but like the live TV. That's the word.
We know that. We were just picking up.
Wait, which one are you talking about, Cade?
See, Cade, and you might be too young for this, but antenna TV.
No.
I know what it is.
In the cities, they have these big towers, these big several 100-foot towers, and you would put up a little tiny box at your house, and it would pull these magical waves in over the air and decode and show you a picture.
Dude,
Dave,
I have one.
Be nice, Dave. Be nice. Look.
Dude, I have one of them, dude.
We have to be nice to Cade because we had a previous guest that came on and he hit him with the look young whippersnapper, and it wasn't pretty. Okay, yeah, I'm just saying he got hit with the young whippersnapper mantra. I felt kind of bad, and we didn't hear from him for like 3 weeks.
Oh, and don't even get me started, guys, on whenever they first went to digital, the signals got worse because digital has a cliff effect, meaning instead of just degrading, it dies. So a lot more people signed up for satellite TV when it went digital for antenna, just because of that.
Yep, I can see that.
Do you think it'll actually be better with the ATSC?
No, because once again, it's still a cliff effect. So the cliff effect literally means your signal is either perfect or dead. There is no in between.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's
I
the
mean,
same way
digital is ones and zeros, man, on
Yep.
off.
That's the same thing with digital amateur radio. It's really great because anywhere that's in the signal, like anywhere you can get the signal, it's perfect. But as soon as you get just outside that area, boom, it's gone.
See, analog didn't do that. It would just degrade a bit, but still work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It would degrade, but it would still work. But there's a certain level with which digital just can't cope, and it's like, nope, gone.
Yeah, for a regular like for cable TV, that is going to be roughly 32 SNR, 32 to 33 SNR is where it goes.
Yep. But until that point, digital is literally crystal clear perfect.
Yep.
So
and there are instances where digital actually goes further than analog just because of the better, like higher efficiency transmission and lower bandwidth though.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. Like when cable TV transitioned from analog to digital, they actually had to lower the signal levels by 10 dB. They had to, because if the signal was that hot, it would actually cause the opposite effect. You would get clipping. Too much.
Too much signal.
You end up get too much signal in the line.
Yeah. So like most of the networks are set up for that high signal, and we had to go back and recalibrate everything when they went digital.
Since digital is more efficient and uses less spectrum, it can the signal is higher quality, even at weaker signal strength.
Yep. So that would be like if you got the same speed on your phone, whether your signal was -80 or it was -120, it would be the same speed. If you put it into layman's terms.
That's true.
But it does. It literally degrades as it gets weaker. But it's not degrading directly because of signal. It's probably degrading because of the SNR. Yeah.
All right, so I got one more story I want to bring up. Hold on. So USB says goodbye to confusing super speed USB branding.
Thank God.
So basically they dropped this weird mantra for USB with 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and they're going to more speed representation of what the USB actually can do. So let me pull it up here. So you're gonna have USB 5 gig, USB 10 gig, USB 20 gig, USB 40 gig, and whenever the new USB standard comes out for 80, then it'll just be 80 gig. It's not gonna be USB, version USB 4 version 2.3.5. It's not gonna end up being like that anymore.
Thank God. Again, USB had really confusing numberings and standards.
Oh,
wait, so we're gonna be calling it speed tiers or what?
They're gonna be references by the speed that they can do.
Yep.
So you'll see on the packaging on the logo that it will say like USB 5 gigs. So that way you don't end up picking up the wrong cable. So let's say that you want to daisy chain your laptop to an external monitor, but it needs a 40 gig connection. Instead of you grabbing the wrong cable because you don't know which USB standard to grab, you'll automatically know, oh, I need the 40 gig USB for it to work. So that's That's the premise that they're going to end up doing.
That'll be
It
good.
look like they're going to do it for the logo and power delivery. That's what it looks like. But yeah, the USB standards was all over the place. Brandon, your iPhone might one day become a real boy and become a USB device, and you could transfer photos between devices faster.
No, because
One day.
We already do that through Bluetooth.
He'd still have to use iTunes. He couldn't do that.
Oh, look, Brandon. Look, I'll just say something. iPhones still use the USB standard of 480 megabits per second. Okay, y'all ain't doing no high speed nothing. High speed left you behind a long time ago.
High speed left him behind like 10 years ago.
But yeah, the naming convention was all over the place. So this is what it was before I guess they getting ready to change it. It was super speed USB 3.2 Gen 2x2. I'm like, what people are they robots in the USB industry that was come up with these names? USB 3.1 Gen 1, USB 3.1 Gen 2, 3.2 Gen 2. It was just crazy.
Yeah, and look at the Qualcomm Snapdragon. I mean, obviously the 8 Gen 1 or the 8 Gen whatever is going to be the newest thing. It's going to be the highest power thing and the most, the best one you can have. The 7 is a little less. The 6 is a little less. And then the 4 is the bottom basement, right? That makes sense.
Well, they were running out of numbers.
Yeah, they were.
They were running out of numbers, man.
And 865 and 695 and
they don't want to let go of that 8 to say their life.
Yeah, but 8 means everything to them.
The 8 represents the high thing, the 7 represents the mid range, 6 is a little lower, and the 4 is basement. That numbering scheme makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense, but they were doing everything they could to keep that numbering scheme going, though.
Yeah, but freaking USB 3.2 Gen 2 2x2, that does not make sense.
Oh, and that's one of the reasons why people love Apple, because it's simple. That lightning cable does the same thing it did from day one. Nothing.
Keep it simple, stupid. Nothing.
Bro. Oh, Jesus.
Brandon said, you know what Brandon just said? Brandon said, well, we got Bluetooth. Bluetooth is even worse.
Bluetooth? You're going to transfer files over Bluetooth? You have fun with that.
It's actually not bad.
Oh, crap. It's not bad.
What are you talking about?
Slow.
It's not.
He's used to slow guys. That's all that is.
You're either not transferring files over Bluetooth, or you have the patience.
Dude, I'm transferring gigabytes of files.
No, you're not. That's Wi-Fi. That's Wi-Fi direct.
Put speed in.
That's Wi-Fi direct. That's not Bluetooth.
The Bluetooth
transfer a gigabyte over Bluetooth would take days.
Yep.
So what your phone is doing is it handshakes with Bluetooth and then does Wi-Fi direct.
Exactly.
But that's not transferring through Bluetooth. Bluetooth is back in the days when you used to use your old flip phones and transfer ringtones to each other, and it used to take 5 minutes to send a ringtone from one phone to the other. Hey, I remember those days. I used to have one of them.
Were you reborn, bro?
Do what?
Were you reborn?
No.
Yes, I had one of those flip phones. That was back in 2006.
Everybody had anybody that was in this room except for Cave, I'm sorry to say, had a flip phone.
Look,
hey, I remember my very first Bluetooth headset. It was a Motorola earpiece thing, and it would last 2 hours on a charge.
Oh God, tell me about it,
Brandon.
AT&T's
upload is faster than Bluetooth.
Damn.
Oh shit.
No, Sprint's upload is faster than Bluetooth.
and
Say
they're not
what?
existing.
No,
They're
you
not
mean
even existing no
AOL.
more.
Yeah, but when it did exist, Sprint's upload was terrible, and it was still faster than Bluetooth.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so sad.
I miss my Sprint.
Here
No,
you
you
go.
don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I miss Sprint Band 41. Like
I miss
when I
Band
had
25 and 41.
when I had Sprint, like I did try Sprint for a little while, and when I had Sprint, as long as you had Band 41, life was really good. And then as soon as you dropped down to 25 and 26, it went awful.
I
That-
miss
hey.
my Wii Maxi.
And like, yeah, I mean, I dropped a freaking Band 26 in the middle of freaking Minneapolis.
Ooh.
I was like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, look, I totally understand. I was a Sprint customer for a long time, and N41, like I was on WiMAX for a long time, and then all of a sudden, when I was on WiMAX, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful world, but like you just said, as soon as you drop down to 3G and barely LTE, man, it
Yep,
was
when
just
you
terrible.
when you were on 41, life was beautiful. Like I remember being there in Minneapolis, and in my neighborhood, at my bus stop where I got off and got on the bus, had Band 41, and Sprint was fast. I mean, blazing fast. Nobody could compete with it. I could walk to my apartment 2 blocks away, and I was on Band 25, and Sprint was okay. And the minute I stepped in the door of my apartment building, I went to Band 26, and Sprint was terrible. In the middle of freaking Minneapolis.
Mm.
It was that bad. But when you were on Band 41, it was beautiful.
I mean, here's the thing: T-Mobile's network is looking a lot better, which I suspect that they're going to probably pull a Sprint and literally run their whole network.
Wait. Dave, do you consider T-Mobile as a new company?
No, I think T-Mobile's the same T-Mobile they used to be. They just bought Sprint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whatever, Brandon.
Exactly.
Whatever, Brandon. I know the reason why you asked that question. I feel differently, okay? But
Yeah.
here's the thing. I think that T-Mobile is going to end up like literally running everything off of N41.
I think so. Like, I think literally every chance they get, they're going to put everybody on N41 if at all possible.
Oh, look, I can see them refarming band 66 to N66 and band 2 to N2.
N2.
And then they're gonna at least raise their speed cap, if not a little bit higher, probably another 15-20% after they do that, because I feel like N41 and N71 is for the country, but when you're in the city, I'm very rarely do I see N71 now. And I drive around and look at the service menu. I haven't connected the N71 at all.
Same thing with me, actually. I just started connecting to N41 standalone here recently, a couple weeks ago, and I don't see 71 a whole heck of a lot unless I'm out of town now.
You probably see double bands of 41. You probably see the 100 megahertz and the 50. It depends on where you are.
I'm only seeing, when I did a test, I'm only seeing 300 megabits a second on standalone 41, like 380. So I'm assuming I'm probably just getting the 100.
You could be getting aggregated, but you need a Samsung phone to know.
Yeah.
Because you're on your phone is unlocked, right? Like your phone is rooted, right?
No, custom ROM.
Well, if you put a custom ROM on, that means that your phone is rooted.
No, it's not. There's a difference between rooting and ROMing. So your phone can be ROMmed without being rooted, and that's what mine is.
Oh, okay. But the reason why is because I know here in DC that when I'm driving around and I look at the networks, there's a couple of patches where my phone will go into standalone, and it won't even do 71 unless it hits like a semi dead spot, but it will aggregate two bands of 41.
Mm-hmm. I actually have
It'll
to.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, it will do N41 100 megahertz and then N41 50.
I actually have to manually drop down to LTE to make a phone call because I literally stay on SA, either N71 or N41 at all times unless I'm making a phone call. So like to call into this, I literally had to force my phone back down to LTE and let it connect to LTE because otherwise I stay on SA all the time. I don't ever use LTE unless I need to make a phone call.
Are you forcing? So that means you force yours to be on standalone then, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I literally disable all settings except for SA. That's the only thing it can connect to. And if it doesn't connect, if it can't find SA, I have no service.
Okay, so with you doing that, how well is the coverage in your area?
Fantastic, actually.
Ooh, no.
It's freaking fantastic. I don't drop signal like ever.
And you said that you were in the outskirts of Atlanta, right?
No, I'm kind of close to Savannah.
Okay.
About 50 miles or so from Savannah. But like even when I used to live out in the country, I had my phone forced into SA mode too, and there was very few times even out in the country that I would lose SA. I was on 71 all the time, like literally all the time.
Right.
But I very rarely lost service. So even out in the middle of nowhere, SA 71 was active and working really well.
Man, the coverage game is getting real now, man. Because if you're able to stay on, I mean, of course you force yours to the standalone, but if you're able to keep it on standalone and pretty much not notice any type of degradation or any hiccups or speed islands and nothing, and you got continuous coverage, that's huge.
Yep, because the only time I force my phone back down to LTE is if I need to make a phone call. All text messages, all data sessions, unless they're on Wi-Fi, are on standalone. Like everything I do is on standalone, and even receiving calls is on standalone. But for whatever reason, I cannot make an outgoing call. I can receive a phone call and I can talk for as long as I want. You call me, we can talk for hours and hours and hours, and it's just fine. But if the call drops and I need to call you back, then I have to go to LTE to do it.
Sound like you had a Nextel problem.
I think it's got something to do with my modem, because I have the Snapdragon X52, and it's not supposed to support VoNR at all. But it apparently works for receiving.
But the software, it must be being done through software. I know that I can't make emergency phone calls on SA, but I can make and receive phone calls on SA.
You can't.
But
Emergencies you had.
How
do you even know that?
How do I know that? Because I was talking to my wife while going home, and a guy was stuck in the trees, like literally his car was upside down in the trees, and I hung up with her, and I was calling 911, and my phone wouldn't connect.
This fool was in the Harry Potter car.
Okay.
No, that car didn't get stuck in the tree. It just hit the tree, and then the tree hit back.
Yes, and then
the tree hit back.
No, okay. That's how I knew that it wouldn't make the emergency phone calls. So I had to use my other phone to make call the ambulance and whatever for the guy. His car was on fire, man. I could see it through the woods.
Oh yikes!
I didn't see the headlights. I saw the fire.
Homeboy was having a barbecue.
With his car upside down. But yeah, so that's how I know that I can connect. And I was able to do that on my Fold 3 and my Fold 4. So on both my folds, the recent ones, I was able to do it. I couldn't do it on the X55 though.
Yeah, my
The
phone has
X50.
the X52.
So maybe your ROM is allowing it to make phone. I mean, receive phone calls, but it's not allowing it to make phone calls.
That could be, because I don't have any other explanation as to why it would do that.
I mean, Carlos has said multiple times it's software trickery, so it could be the software is just letting it go one way.
But I'm not complaining considering how many phone calls I make, which is practically none. Literally, the only time I use my phone is to call, either to pay my phone bill or call into this Google conference thing for you guys. That's literally the only calls I'm making a month.
Well, I thank you for calling, man. I don't know if you want to continue using burner phone numbers to give to Google, but I mean I'm glad to keep you. I have you on. I'm glad to have you up here.
Get those Mint Mobile free trial sims.
Hey, check this out. If you keep you can do T-Mobile's test drive for 3 months.
Yep.
Free, you get free service for 3 months. You can just keep reusing a different email address.
Wait, no, he can't because his main line is on T-Mobile.
Oh, he would need a different phone that can do eSIM.
Yeah, I'd have to get me a phone that can do eSIM. My phone can't do eSIM.
Oh,
well, your next phone is a flip phone or what?
Dag, Brandon, that's messed up.
I'm thinking I'll buy my next phone in probably 24 if I had to take my guess.
In 24 days?
No, 2024.
Like I kind of suspect that I'll buy either the last of the new Pixel 7As or the very first of the Pixel 8As. Is kind of what I'm assuming will happen.
I mean, the Tensor chip should be a little bit better for next year.
It'll be in that time frame, the ending of the 7A and the very beginning of the 8A is probably about when I'll upgrade.
It should. I mean, I think that's another Google product that has promise yet they go halfway on right there. Their phones.
Mm-hmm.
That's another one. They could literally dominate, but they choose to kind of halfway do it.
I think Google needs to open more stores.
Look, man, everybody's been trying to get away from retail. They don't look. Retail presence is like suicide to a company now.
Oh, I didn't say open a bunch of stores. I just said more. I'm thinking there's one in New York. I'm thinking open one in Atlanta, one in Chicago, one in Houston, and then one in somewhere in Cali, LA or San Fran or something like that. That way they have one on the West Coast, two in the center, and then two on the East Coast.
Yeah, but then guess what's going to happen? What about DC? There's not one here in Washington. I'm going to want one.
But you have one. You have one close enough in New York.
You just go to the authorized retailers.
New York is close to you.
Man, yeah, 4 hours.
You can get on the damn train and go to New York, fool.
I'm doing that anyway. But I'm just saying, man, I don't want to go 4 hours to go experience a store.
Well, if you want it bad enough, you'll either buy it online or you'll go to the store.
Well, Brandon is losing out here because all the malls around him is dying.
No, they're not.
The mall idea is dying, dog.
That's true.
If a Macy's is not there anymore, it's going to die.
Because all the big corner stores are pulling out.
Yeah.
All these big foundational corner stores for malls like Macy's and it used to be Sears.
Well, Macy's
and,
said
like,
that they're going to close down on about 130 something stores the next 3 years.
like all these big cornerstone stores that bring traffic into the malls are closing, and so therefore the malls can't get the revenue they need, and they close too.
Well, it's the same. It's the same problem you run into where traditional TV is taken over by the internet. These stores know that they can reach more customers in different places without having to have a central location for them to come to.
That's true. The only real thing that I could see having to need a physical store for is clothes, because a lot of people don't understand, like, don't know their own sizes and stuff like that. And so, like, the idea of trying on clothes and figuring out your sizes is a lot harder for a lot of people. Like, you
Oh,
can
snap.
go
What's
clothes
up,
shopping
Dennis?
online. Uh-oh.
What's up, Dennis? But no, I'm just saying, like, the problem at hand is with, how do you say it? Retail stores got taken over when Walmart decided to consolidate, and then Walmart got beat up by Amazon because Amazon was
Yep.
strictly online.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I talked about Dennis. That's just mean of you, sir. How you gonna come into my live stream and remind me of my sadness? Okay. Yes, we talked about Stadia dying.
Do you want me to send him a link?
Huh?
Do you want me to send him a link?
Oh, I was about to get ready to jump off now. Hey, I wish he showed up earlier.
Dennis comes
And
in
you
and
didn't.
everybody runs away.
Look. Hey, look. I know how I felt about that subject. I'm still salty about it, sir. I haven't realized what it really is yet. So I don't want to talk about it no more. Woo hoo hoo. But
A lot of waiting.
but no, I'm just saying, like, retail is totally different now. Like Amazon
Dude, I was
opened
looking for a
bookstores.
backpack on Amazon yesterday, and tell me why there was a lot of people with 5-star reviews giving it shit reviews.
What? Given what bad reviews?
A backpack on Amazon, like they were literally 5-star reviews, and half of them were like bad reviews on a 5-star review.
Oh, that's weird.
I was like, what the hell?
But you know what? Here's the thing: you could find out something's better or worse a whole lot faster than you would if you went to the retail store. By the time you get to the retail store and spend your money, and then all of a sudden you realize it was bad and try to take it back, you could read everybody's reviews in almost real time.
I buy stuff from eBay. I don't have an Amazon account.
I buy stuff from eBay also.
I would rather not buy stuff from eBay, but the way I see it is that eBay is smaller than Amazon, therefore it's at least the slightly better choice.
I'll give you a call, Dennis, after.
So I buy from eBay.
But guys, I thank y'all for joining me on this Sunday into a Monday now on the East Coast side. Brandon hasn't seen the end of Sunday yet where he lives, but I thank y'all for showing up. Appreciate it. No radio dropped out a whole lot sooner. He ran out of radio signals. But hey, Dave, can you tell people what you're doing, man? What universe are you working in right now?
What do you mean, like what universe? Like where can they find me or what?
Where can they find you?
I am. You can go to the website cheeseburger.social/@shortwave surfer 2009. That's cheeseburger.social/@shortwave surfer 2009. And the instance is based off of this movie called Bob's Burgers, which I've never seen. That's what it was originally created for, but it's cheeseburger.social.
So this is a social website.
Yep, it's my social media.
Okay.
Cheeseburger.social.
All right.
Wait, what?
Dennis says just use Twitter. And
Twitter.
what about you,
Twitter's too
Brandon?
big.
I can find you on OnlyFans, as Shay said.
You can find
Ashay?
him on OnlyFans.
Shay, we don't talk about your afternoon job, okay? But what about you, Brandon? Twitter?
Wait, I'm
Twitter
sorry,
only?
what?
Where can we find
Yes.
you? What do you want to promote?
Nothing much. I might deactivate my Twitter in a little bit.
Good for
Wow.
you. Good for you. Congratulations.
But I'll be
Why?
back on it.
He gonna deactivate it, but be snooping in from time to time. All right, and
Deactivating
then
Twitter. Congratulations, man. I'm proud of you.
and then for me, it's Keon on Twitter. So if I'm not trolling other people on that one, you know, you can hit me up there, and then the Community Tech Podcast. Leave your
And
comments in the YouTube.
and dear God, tell Keon that he needs an email for the channel so people who don't have Twitter can email him.
I think I put an email as my link. I got to go back and look. I'm not sure which email
No.
address I use.
PO box.
Because I had a hell of a hard time contacting you because you only had Twitter and you had no email and you only had Twitter. I couldn't contact you until I
Well,
found
I
you on Reddit.
apologize.
So you
Oh,
need
you
an email, bro.
you stumbled on me on Reddit.
It was complete accident. I was lucky to have. So you need
Yeah.
an email, bro.
Hey, I'm
But
gonna look it up. I'm gonna look
Not
it up.
everybody in this world has Twitter.
I understand. And no, Ashay, I don't have a MySpace account, sir. MySpace been dead for a long time.
You need something universal. And email
But
is
thank
the
y'all.
universal
I
method.
want to say thank y'all for watching. Appreciate it. All the people that came in. God bless you and good night.
Google.